Welcome back to Freedom Hours, Andy here again. Great to have you back with us today. Today we're going to look at how to bounce back from failure. You see, numerous times in my life I've actually failed, would you believe? And despite those failures, I've been able to rebuild my life and get back on a straight and narrow. And I guess a lot of subscribers have reached out to me and said, Andrew, you've been so successful, I'm not really in a good place at the moment. What can I do to actually bounce back and get back on with my life? Well, guys, it's very, very common for all of us to fail at one point or another in our times. And also, what failure is different people varies from person to person. See, some people may be getting a promotion, some people may be within a family, and other people it may be, losing a company or losing a business. So, in this video, I want to give you some strategies on what you can do to bounce back from failure. Kind of talk a bit about my lesson and how I turned failure actually into an opportunity for success. You see, there are specific things that you can do to turn failure around and to be successful and live the life you require and dream of. So anyway, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also check out a video now at Freedom in Hours. So when we talk about failure, what are we talking about? See, failure is different things to different people. It can be, as I said earlier, relationship breakup, it can be a business failing, it can be not getting a job promotion, or it can just generally just be getting stuck in life and not being able to move forward. And the challenge you've got in life is when things are going really, really well, life's great, isn't it? So, when you're positive, when you're confident, when you get things going in your favor, it kind of seems to replicate itself. You get more and more confident, you get better. But the opposite happens when you experience failure. So, say you get a knockback. So, for example, you get someone, and it can be very, very small things can actually lead to failure as well. So, say someone says, you don't look good and that didn't work out. And then you start to question yourself. Then you look in the environment around you, and then suddenly everything starts to cascade backwards. And I think the first thing, when we talk about failure, guys, is you always need to be working on your psychology. You see, I call it a self-esteem bank. So every time I do something good, every time I do something well, every time I help someone else or give back to the world, I put a little coin in my self-esteem bank. Now, my self-esteem bank obviously is in my mind, but it's how I feel. And I actually picture this massive big vault in a bank, and I can see myself putting coins in there when I do right things. So when I give someone a compliment, when I accomplish something, when I feel good, when I do a good workout at the gym, I put all these coins in a self-confidence bank. And now I've been doing this for around 20 years, and you should see how big my confidence bank is. I mean, it's massive. I don't know what I say, it's the size of like the Titanic. I don't use the Titanic as an example, but it's the size of an office tower. And when I look up, and it's built so big from all the great things I've done. And I guess that's what you need to start to build on, because when you come to failure and you've built a strong self-esteem, you've built a strong personality, you've built a strong self-confidence bank, it's so much easier to be able to take that challenge on because you've got a floor underneath you. You see, without having a floor underneath you, you can drop very, very quickly. So you go from being happy to potentially being depressed just like that. So you need to start by doing things every day to start to build the floor under you. So if something happens, you can deal with it with a lot more strategies. And I guess a lot of us haven't been taught strategies how to deal with failure. We go through schooling, we go through education, we meet our families, and most people don't have very good control of their emotions. Most people don't have very good control of how they think and what they focus on. So if you start to put these things into place before you have failure or before you go down that track, then you're in a much better position to start to be able to deal with things as they come up. Okay, so you're saying to yourself, okay, Andy, that's great, It's great to build up the confidence, to do these things, have the self-esteem bank, but at the moment, I'm not feeling good. I'm not right there at the moment. So guys, there are strategies to turn this around. So, I'll give you an example. So back 10 years ago, before I met my mentor, John, I'd lost a business. It had gone really, really badly, and I'd saved up, millions of dollars, and it went to zero. And it was a really tough time for me because I've been working on this business for so many years, and it wasn't even my fault what happened. And the key thing is, what I did is, I found myself repeating the same thing again, focusing on the past and being stuck in this thought pattern that wasn't helping me anymore, because I'd always had good thinking patterns, and it kept on repeating itself and flickering into my head. So I heard this thing called the 10-day mental challenge. Now, I don't know if you guys have heard of it, but it comes from about 100 years ago. Now, it's a powerful subconscious thing you can use to reprogram your subconscious. So essentially what the 10-day mental challenge is, and I've done a video on it in the past, there's links below. So essentially you don't focus on any bad thought at all. Okay, so when you start, and when I started this, I had so many bad thoughts going through my head. So what you need to do is you need to acknowledge the thought. So say a thought comes in, I'm shit, doesn't work for me. You stop, you acknowledge it, you put the thought away. And you replace it with maybe something good. Well, actually, no, I am good. I'm not shit. And you keep on doing that. But what I found was, you do it as long as you can. So the idea is when you go for 3 or 4 days without having a negative thought, then you can stop doing it. So I thought, great. I started the 10-day mental challenge, got on there, and negative thought straight away. And I held on to it. Okay, and to reset. Okay, thought, question it, thought, question it. I went for a couple of minutes. Then I dwelled on it again. But what happened is, guys, what happens is you're when you get to this stage, is you're in a battle against your own mind. You're a battle against your own thinking. You see, our subconscious mind can work so powerfully for us, and we've done some other videos on it. But when it doesn't work for you, it goes the opposite way. So it keeps on reinforcing the negative pattern. So what happens is your thinking becomes negative again and again and again. And if you do this 10-day mental challenge, I call it 10 days because that's what it can generally take. If you've had severe patterns in place, if you keep on sticking to it, eventually you find one day that you stop the negative thinking. The negative talk stops. So you get these gaps. The problem is when you get the gaps, say you don't have any negative thoughts for 5 minutes, one comes in, you're not prepared for it, you hold on to it, start the 10-day mental challenge again, guys. You've got to clear out your subconscious mind. So that's what I used all that time ago when I broke my business. I wasn't, people say think positive and think great. Well, when you're down and out, it's very hard to sit there and think positive. But what you can do is you can think about every thought, identify it, stop it, and get rid of it. And after you do that so many times, if it's thousands of times, the thoughts change. And you start thinking good things. You don't think, why am I bad? You start thinking, why am I good? You don't start thinking, why did I fail? You start thinking, how will I succeed? And these are the key questions you get. So 10-day challenge is very, very powerful. I would also suggest you change your environment. So if you, had a business failure, for example, get out of that area, go do something different. Start to look after yourself. And the other thing is, when we go through significant stress, we need to start to look after ourselves, to start to think about little things you can do each day. FreedomInHours philosophy. So along with the mental thoughts, start thinking, what can you do to be valued as a person? What can you do to feel good? What can you do to contribute? It could be going for a walk, going to the gym. So pick up your conscious thoughts and then take physical actions to start to turn it around. It can be very, very powerful. But guys, it's all about acknowledging what you do. You see, the challenge with life is we are all just in programming. We like to go into comfort, and our bodies accept comfort. But to see comfort is so, so dangerous. You get up in the morning at the same time, have the same alarm, have the same breakfast, drive the same car to the same job, meet the same people, do the same type of work, come home, put the TV on at the same time. If you do exercise, you do the same kind of exercise. You see the same people for a weekend. You go to the same holiday destinations. You've created a life for you that is the same, that you're not growing, you're not developing. And can you see in such a life that when something goes wrong, it's like a window pane cracks. Smash, it cracks open because you haven't found people to learn and develop from. You haven't found people to empower you, and you get stuck. So guys, I challenge you to start thinking outside the box, to start to push yourself. See, if you're in the same environment, you get the same inputs, you get the same things happening. And I guess my whole life I've always looked to grow. So I've been to seminars, I met new people, I traveled, saw different things, I made business mistakes. I made mistakes in what I'm doing, and even now I make mistakes. But you know what? I make mistakes because I choose to. I learn from the mistakes and I grow stronger from it. So I challenge you guys to start to really look at your life, and you can make choices. You don't have to be stuck where you are. You don't have to do the same things every day. You don't have to feel the way you're doing. How you think, your actions, what you do is a conscious choice. And you have to agree that we have an infinite number of opportunities and abilities out there in life. We literally have the opportunity to do whatever we want. So guys, if you want to do whatever you want, if you've got the whole world at your fingertips, get out there, live. But start with, do a 10-day mental challenge, focus on your thoughts, change your thinking. Then once your thinking is changed, then start to ask proper questions. Where do I want to go? What can I add? What can I contribute? Who can I be? And it doesn't have to be the big questions, but it can be, what can I do today to feel better? So anyway, I hope you liked this video today. Don't worry if you're going through, if you feel down at the moment or going through failure. It always happens. It's all part of the journey. We've all been there. And if you're feeling good at the moment, then guys, get in there. Do your self-esteem bank. Start to condition yourself for success. Do the morning ritual as well. There's a link up there as well. that I do every morning to get yourself in a peak state to be able to take on the world and achieve the dreams in life you've always wanted. Anyway, make sure you like the video, subscribe to the channel, and also check out our newsletter as well, Freedom Hours, www.freedomhours.com, and reach out to me what you think. Anyway, thanks guys for joining us here at Freedom in Hours.